Hi, I'm Mia MacCormick and I'm in Design Performance at NIDA, and this is my portfolio. So I graduated school in 2021, and last year in 2022 I did 1 year of interior architecture. So kind of the start of my portfolio is pretty much all just interior architecture stuff, which I think has a little bit of relevance for particularly set design. So yeah, a lot of this was my first ever interior architecture project. And we had to do a project for the Venice Biennale, and it was just loads of fun. I got to play with golds and it was quite sculptural. That was my first model making experience, which was really exciting. This was a project I was really quite proud of, and I did a lot of crocheting with wire. And so yeah, this was just part of my design process that I underwent here, sort of from the thinking stage all through to the actual solution. And yeah, these were some of my first ever lighting shots. So it's been really cool this year actually learning how to light a model box properly and learning how to get lights into a space. So that's been really exciting. And it's just cool to see how much more I've learned this year. Yeah, here are a few of the same things. And yeah, here are some technical drawings. This was stuff I've actually done this year. So I've been learning how to hand draw as well as do it digitally. But yeah, these are my first ever hand drawn ones that I did for interior architecture last year. This was really interesting. So last year I got to do an architecture history course, which was really exciting. We pretty much did eras all the way from like ancient Rome and then kind of all the way up to modernist architecture, which I absolutely loved. And it was so exciting and really engaging just to learn about the history of our built environment. So this was my major work that I did in 2021 for art, which I loved. It was a series of crocheted sculptural works, which I made from crocheted wool and recycled metal bike parts. And it was kind of this comment on genetically modified sea creatures, which it was all a bit random, but I had so much fun. I learned how to crochet, and then I also had some photography and a few ink drawings. Yeah, so I got to take all the sculptures out and I photographed them at beaches and things like that. And I think it reflects my style of work and sort of my process in that it combines a whole load of different mediums. I have sculpture and then I have photography, and then I even have a little bit of text in there. I wrote little specimen kind of descriptions of all of the animals I created. And then I also have ink drawings and that sort of thing. So I think one of my strengths is that I love working across a really wide range of mediums. And that's for sure something I want to incorporate into my practice going forwards. This one, I didn't even think that Bob would be particularly interested in it. I thought it was a fun artwork, but not super exciting. But yeah, it was actually, when I had an interview with Bob, it was like one of the main points of conversation randomly, which is not something I ever would have expected. But yeah, just try putting a really diverse range of things, even if you don't think it's the most exciting or interesting of your work. I think just put it in anyway. This was another one of my older works. It was a vacuum cleaner swan. So I had a vacuum cleaner, like a bike helmet, and then flowers from those sort of fake flower necklace things. So I turned him into a swan, and then I took him for a photo shoot. That was lots of fun. I think I called him Gordon. And then I think I definitely work better with sculpture and sort of in the 3D, but I do love to paint as well. So yeah, I did a whole series of paintings inspired by Henry Rousseau, which I also included. And I think that was just an interesting kind of look at the way I use color and the way I think about color. So I felt that they were quite important to put in. So I've got a few of them. Yeah, this one was maybe my favorite. And I think it's my most recent, this one, which I really loved. Yeah, this was ink. I just wanted to show a really diverse range of mediums, that like the fact that I can work across quite a wide range. So this was an ink drawing. And then here I get to my sewing. So I've been sewing for ages, and not really super high level stuff like the stuff you see the costume girls doing, but like quite basic garments. But I felt that that was an important skill to show that I have and can include. So yeah, I did this fun jumpsuit, pants jumpsuit, interchangeable number. Yeah, here are some more pretty basic garments, but ones that I was proud of. Yeah, these were fun. These were some pencil cases I made out of chip packets and like plastic and things like that, and I lined them. And then, yeah, I haven't really done much theatre, but I included the tiny bit that I helped out on like 1 or 2 school productions, making clothes. that was the limited bit that I had done. And then yeah, he was a remake of a costume I did for fun. That was another little Mad Hatter costume. And this was some poster design I did for like a high school drama piece. But yeah, that's me. Even if you don't think something is your most exciting or interesting work, I think include it, because although you might not think it's fabulous, someone else might be really, it might really tickle their fancy. Just yeah, be as authentic as you can, I think, because they're good. They will see through you. And I think if you try once and it doesn't work out, like try again. That worked for me. So that was, yeah, don't give up if that's something that you're worried about. And if you don't get in the first time, try again and you might get in the second time.